Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Decided I'm going to do a quick practice round. I decided I'm going to go on a journey to reach a 800 plus rating. I'm currently in the 700 club in terms of my ratings, so I'd like to improve that by playing tournaments starting in June of this year, 2023. With that said, I've already done some practice throwing and the results weren't good at all. I'm trying to focus on my timing to where I drive the plant leg, and when I get that heel planted, that's when I actually initiate the swing. That's all I really care about right now. So with that said, I've got two cameras, GoPro for the side view, Handycam for the rear view. I'm just going to throw. This is not a scored round, I'm just going to throw. There we go. Just focusing on timing. Everything else is just going to be intuition. That Valkyrie's good. Okay, I don't think from this rear view you can see the disc, but the side view you can. I think you can. I'm a good 100 feet away from the basket. All I'm going to do is try to throw towards it. Remember, this is just a practice round, not a scored round. Yeah, I fluffed that, released that too early. Let's see if I can correct. Another thing I'm trying to learn is not just timing of that heel and the brace foot and then throwing, but is also rotation in terms of facing the target. Okay, I put too much power on that one, but that was a good throw. Let's see if I can soften that up a little bit by going with my little AVR. I don't typically use this for throwing. There we go, that's a little bit better. All right, we're going to try this again. Here's my Valkyrie off the tee of hole 2. Just going to send it. That'll be blocked by that camera. I don't consider it to be that good. Let me try another throw. Again, all I'm trying to do is brace that heel first and then throw. There we go. That's a lot better. That's a lot more in line with what I want. That was my Barsby Roadrunner. Here's my Marweed Sidewinder. That was like 80% terrible. Let me try another disc. Let's try a leopard. Try a little hyzer flip. That was really good. I mean, it's nowhere near where the basket is. Let's not get crazy here. Here's a leopard 3-inch champion plastic, a little more stable. There we go. That's definitely towards the basket, but I hit it tree branches, of course, because I don't really know how to throw. Here's my FD. There we go. Very good. Basket's that way. I, of course, threw that way. Now, my it. Maybe this will flip up a little bit more. Alrighty, there's halfway decent throws there. All right, so pretty decent here is this Star It, but even better is this Greg Barsby Roadrunner, which is the best throw of the bunch. I'm almost within 120 feet. All right, the good news is I'm in the same position I was at on the previous hole, where I'm over 100 feet away and I can't hyzer because of things that are blocking, so I got to do a flat throw. So let me see if I can do better with this set of throws. Looks like I can, and on the first try, I'll take it. If you're able to detect that I'm a little salty right now, you would be dead on. I spent about an hour before making this video actively throwing 5 putters repeatedly over and over at 150 feet, and I was wild and all over the place, almost like I didn't know how to throw. And it's one of those things where I'm getting tired of being so uncoordinated that nothing is predictable. And I've spent countless hours working on throwing, and I'm just all over the place, and it's pretty distressing. So at this point, I've basically just become a little frustrated, and I just figured I'd try to play a little disc golf and see if that would improve things if I am trying to learn how to throw correctly, more correctly. Still doing the accidental anheuser thing because I'm not properly rotating my torso. At this point, it's just all Hail Mary at this point. The leopard was decent. That leopard 3 is better. I wish I could have flipped the discs. I did basically the accidental anheuser with the leopard, and I did a stronger hyzer with the leopard 3. If I would have reversed those, both of those would have been a better throw. Let me try this it. Still accidental anheuser. That'd be great if I had like a wraith or a firebird. In fact, let's try the accidental anheuser thing with the Viking and do it on purpose. I did an accidental hyzer and threw it too high, so of course I would bomb it way up there. It's just my body has no coordination. It doesn't know what it's doing anymore. I randomly did an amazing throw. If only I could do that repeatedly. Spoiler alert, I can't. Just trying to throw. Everything's completely random at this point. That was a really good throw. Best I've ever done on this hole. But I don't know why or how. Last one, that was my Barsby Roadrunner. This is my FD, Dark Rebel. Again, that was a really good throw, but I couldn't tell you what I did differently. Let's go see what the good throws look like. Okay, here's my Leopard 3 and Viking landed. That's pretty decent. This Valkyrie and FD are some of the best throws I've ever done on this hole ever, so that's kind of cool. I mean, I am about 50% off the tee in terms of good and bad. So let's take a look at this Barsby Roadrunner. This right here is technically the best throw I've ever had on this hole in my life. So I know I'm complaining, I know I'm whining, but I just want it clear that I see what I'm capable of doing, and it kills me I'm only doing it half the time. All right, so hole 4, I can't possibly hope to reach the basket from here, but what I can do is send some out there. I've got a Leopard 3 I'm gonna throw. Oh, that was too inside, too late, but I got around the bush. Now let's try the Star It and see if I can do any better. There, I'm waiting until that heel hits the ground. That's pretty decent. Threw it too high, hit a tree branch, but ultimately it's in a good spot and it made good distance. Let's try this, the FD. There we go, again, too high. But I got some decent distance, and then I hit a tree and it fell to the ground. Let's try this TL, Star X out. Again, let's focus on going low, Nick. Let's go lower. There we go, much better. I threw it with hyzer, not slight hyzer, sharp hyzer, so that was not good. Again, that inconsistency I'm basically famous for at this point. Infamous. That was pretty decent, even though it was fluffed. Something about my timing. I think I threw before my heel hit the ground. Let's try this Barsby Roadrunner. There we go, that felt better. That actually felt like a decent throw. But of course I threw it too high and hit a tree branch. Now there's like a homeless person yelling over there. That's pretty fucking hilarious. All right. There we go, that kind of felt good. Although it was like an early release, like it came out like that. Last but not least, let's try this Exodus. Just see if I can get an okay throw here. There we go, that kind of felt good. But of course I threw it high, and of course I threw it with hyzer. Predictable. Okay, I'm gonna go with this It. Really, I could have gone with 3 or 4 of them, but this one here, I can frame up the camera best. So I had 4 of them roughly 120 feet away, slightly downhill, maybe 130. So again, just another straight one. And the upshots are dialed in. I mean, if you ignore the several that I missed on hole 1, I guess I'm doing okay now. You know, one of the reasons why I'm salty is because I feel like half the time I'm hitting my face with the rake, just stepping on a rake and hitting my face with it. You know, people might be asking, why aren't you having fun? You're just playing sports. Yeah, but it gets old hitting the rake repeatedly against my face over and over. And I love this game, but the inconsistency that I have, no matter what I seem to do, is what's bringing me down. All right, so I've got my Leopard 3. Again, just all I'm practicing really are flat, straight throws. That felt good, but I don't know if I did that right. It was a really good throw. I mean, I have a hard time complaining about the results of some of my throws, but if I'm doing it incorrectly, like throwing before my heel hits the ground, that's the thing that bothers me, among other things. That was accidental Anheuser. My body just keeps doing stuff. It's not like it's slightly different, it's dramatically different, and I'm trying to do the same thing. It's a really good throw. It's a bad spot for the hole. I'm just trying to let these things rip. TL here. That was my FD. That was really good. It's just, I can't tell. I'm just disconnected, and I don't know, I can't really complain too much about these throws. The throws, they're all actually good, but try to get the timing down. Heel down, then throw. And actually deliberately didn't reach back all the way. I wanted to try what Calvin Heimberg does. Turns out I'm not good at that. There's an ant bid there. Valkyrie. Accidental Anheuser, plus I did something weird with my grip, so it hurt a lot. Barsby Roadrunner. Really high, not as intended. All right, and the best of my throws, in theory I'd like to do more consistently, is this TL. So I'm like 90 feet from the basket. All I'm trying to do is get close. There's a lot of things I'm successful at, and the closer I get to the basket, the shorter the distance of throw that I throw, the more accurate I'm going to be, basically. So, I mean, it's not like I'm totally not learning how to do stuff. Those are all great throws. They're fairly close to the basket, but man, it's so frustrating, particularly with the dries and the longer throws. The more effort I try to put into doing this, even 80 to 90% power, is just so frustrating how vastly different all my throws are from each other. Okay, so because of the sun, I've had to point that camera over that way, facing that way. All right, I'm gonna start with my Leopard. Just wanna see if I can get through the gap. Traditionally, I accidentally Anheuser into a tree off the tee, so I'm gonna focus more on hyzer or slight hyzer, and hopefully this Leopard will flip up. I released early and still accidental Anheusered into a tree. That is fascinating. Okay, let's try less power and just to get it through the gap. That felt good, although that wasn't exactly what I was intending. But that's actually a putt towards the basket. That was, I don't know what that was. Maybe a Leopard 3. Here's my it. Again, I'm throwing high with accidental Anheuser. It's actually amazing. The reason why I have the two cameras is I want to see what I'm doing. So there we go. That's a lot more what I wanted. I still threw it very high. Not ideal, but I made it through the gap. Here's my Valkyrie. Straight into a tree. That's a foundling. Costs no money. Now let me try this Barsby Roadrunner that Mike gave me. Early release, accidental anhyzer. Okay, so for this one, I've only got 4 discs I'm gonna try to throw by Atlas, Shark 3, Leopard, and Leopard 3, just to get halfway through the gap. I did the accidental anhyzer thing pretty brilliantly there. That would have been great if I was throwing a wraith. Let's try more hyzer with the Shark 3. Threw it high. I got the hyzer I wanted, but I late released and threw it high. Let's try more hyzer with my Star Leopard, my beaten Star Leopard. Late release that, just actually kind of fell over. It's kind of funny. There, that kind of felt good, but it's too stable a disc to do what I wanted. That would have been great with my Leopard. Okay, so the Atlas was behind me over there, not in a good spot. The Shark 3 was over there behind the camera that way, and actually pretty decent in terms of being able to see the basket. And the Leopard 3 was farther off in that direction with a little more of a challenging look. Regardless, I'm just picking this because I'm here to practice. I'm going to try my Star mid-range first. I'm about 170 away from the tee. Just want to kind of get it closer to the basket. I kind of skated up to it. That was my Manta. Here's my Fox bat. Let me try to do something similar. Next to the basket, Star Wombat 3. Didn't quite put enough on it. For some reason, I felt like too much of this shoulder for some reason. That was kind of weird. But I'm back to probably 50% if I screw this up, so. Early release. I was trying to throw towards the basket, and of course, I did something and it just came out early. Okay, my frustration level is a little high right now because I'm just so uncoordinated, and all the training and footwork practice that I do at home, all the no disc drills and the disc drills and the practice throws in the side yard, there's just a ceiling based on my poor form in terms of what I can do. I'm throwing my FD. It's a good throw, but I mean, not for this hole. It's actually short and underpowered. I'm not trying to get distance. I'm just trying to get a decent throw, and the sun is blinding. That felt good. I have no idea if the timing was good on that. I mean, it looks good, but if I'm throwing before I plant my heel, even though I've been doing drills for 3 days straight. There we go. That actually felt like I waited. And that was perfect with that Exodus. Okay, now I've got my Valkyrie. Man, the sun is literally right in my eye right here. There we go. I mean, it was a late release and high, but I mean, you know, I don't expect perfection. I just want to feel like I'm connected and feel like the throws are basically what I want. That was actually freaking ripped. Okay, so this TL was a great rip. This Exodus was a great rip, but even better is this Barsby Roadrunner. Puts me in the best position to score a par in this hole. Okay, so it's kind of hard to tell, but there's the basket, which I'm going to go ahead and zoom out. Now you can see where I'm throwing from. This is what I'm throwing from, this Roadrunner right here. And the basket's that way. I'm going to see what I can do to get close. I think I'm about 180 out, 170. Way too high. Way too high. Don't get me wrong, that's on the other side of the tree and I'm putting. That's not good. Let me try this AVR 3. Instead of aiming up there, you know, up to the sky, let's kind of aim towards the basket. Again, I'm trying to throw towards the basket. There we go. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay, got a perfect putt. Okay, so this Rhino is a very makeable putt. You know, I just threw it a little too high. If I threw it lower, it would have traveled farther. But this AVR3, I actually felt connected with that, and it threw exactly as intended. So I made the correction that I needed. All right, last throws of the day. I'm gonna try to get it through this gap over here. I'm gonna start with my Leopard 3. Last drives off the tee for today, for this practice round. That was good. Trying to slow down. Now that was too high, and it faded. All these are stable discs in my hand. I don't have any unstable discs. This it is stable in my hand. See if I can throw it a tiny bit lower. Felt really good. I actually flipped it up. That's good. So, I mean, obviously I need to build good form with repetition. My complaint is that I don't have good consistent form. So there's no repetition of something good. It's something, then something else, and something else completely different. And so I'm just not getting what I want. I mean, all three of those were good throws. I mean, the first one was too high, but outside of that was everything else that I liked. And I think I'm hitting my heel before I throw, but I don't know. I think I just have an upper body timing and my body's just kind of there. That one actually felt really good. I'm trying to mentally think of that, you know, PP to the pin, hit the foot, and do that. But it's so hard executing that. I mean, that was an exaggeration. I'm trying to do it mentally. I'm not trying to rotate mentally. I'm trying to just throw. I don't know what that was. That was my Viking, I think. Here's my Roadrunner. Absolutely tried ripping that one. I mean, I'm not unhappy with the effort. I'm unhappy with the execution. Marweed Sidewinder. This is a stable boy in my hand. Last rip from a tee pad of the day. That felt good. Okay, so all my throws had essentially a release pattern from early with the Leopard 3 and Valkyrie. A little bit less early with the FD, Marweed Sidewinder, and the TL. And some of my best throws were actually with that Exodus and the Roadrunner. And lastly, this it. I think I got the most distance. I can't see anything farther, so I'm gonna try that. Okay, so with my best throw, I'm still over 200 feet out. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to throw for my it. And I've got a mid-range I'm gonna try. Got my Manta, to see if I can reach it. Had the right power level, but I threw it too high straight at it, so naturally it's gonna fade. Let me try my Fox bat, see if I can throw flatter, maybe a tiny bit lower. That's a little better, but that would be great if I threw like a Rock 3 and not an understable mid. And even then I soared it. So let's try this Wombat 3. Again, just try to get close. This is a par 3. So it's just imagine how many mulligans it takes for me to make a par on this. There we go, that's much better. But again, I needed a more stable disc. That'd be perfect if I had a Rock 3. Oh, I've got a Rock 3, let's try that. See if I can correct, or just do the same thing with the correct disc. Oh, I ripped on it harder, of course. Fascinating, okay. So as you can tell, I didn't do any putting in this video because my whole focus for improvement has been on the basics of throwing. Primarily the drive off the tee, but secondarily with upshots. This is the area that I need the most work. But what you didn't see in this video was the hour prior to this, a solid hour that I spent throwing putters repeatedly over and over. Ultimately, I had nearly an hour of video total, and I didn't want to publish all that. But there are specific hard-coded problems with my form that I just absolutely cannot fix. This isn't really the video that I go over with that. I've kind of touched on it in the past. But the purpose of this video is to basically inform my audience that I'm not giving up on improving form. But what I am doing is I'm focusing on winnable battles. And hopefully the victories there will have positive effects elsewhere. So let me summarize what I've done so far with my throwing. I've learned how to do a cross step. And in particular, I have multiple walk-ups now based on the situation. I stopped rounding. That was one of my biggest problems, and you've probably seen a lot of different videos over the years where I've discussed rounding, and I've finally gotten a handle on that. And that took a long time. I'm starting to improve my timing. It's not great as it is, and if you look at it from the side, you already see some problems. But I've been having a lot more better throws when I get it right, and now I can feel when I have timing. In other words, I can feel when I'm hitting, planting on the ground and then throwing at that point. I can now feel that. That's something I didn't have before. And it's not perfect, but I'm getting there. I know what my many problems are. This in and of itself is a victory. It took me a long time to get a grasp on many of them because I have a lot of them. It's not just one thing, it's a slew of them. I've done a lot of research and I can point them out to others. I can show you a side view, a rear view, slow motion, full speed. I can show you what all these problems are, and I know what they are, but I just haven't been able to fix them. There's something I just have to come to terms with, and that's the fact that I'm human, I'm imperfect. No one really throws the same all the time, every time, and especially someone at my age who started with no training and it took forever to get decent training. It is what it is, and I just have to come to terms with it. These mistakes are burned in, and at this point I'm just trying to make do with what I have. So I am going to keep working to get better, but I'm going to do that a little more under the radar. I'm not going to be publishing lots of videos about it. And my future content is really going to focus on the fun rounds of disc golf that me and my friends like to play, which ultimately is the reason I started this channel in the first place, not form change vlogging. I do have other things I'm going to review, like discs and other products and stuff like that, because I do think that's an area that needs to be covered, and I believe I'm an honest broker in terms of letting people know, hey, this is a disc or this is a product I like for this reason, not because I'm told to or I'm sponsored or whatever or anything like that. But that's down the road. So anyways, just to let you know, I will start playing in tournaments, or competing is what I wanted to say, probably once every few months. I'd also like to do some more doubles tournaments with Sean, because him and I had a lot of fun playing in those. Probably starting in June, because that'll be the 6 months after I started the Stokely program, and I've really enjoyed that a lot just on the side, and a lot of my problems have nothing to do with that, to be honest. It's all on me. But I do hope to refine my throwing a bit, and that's what I'm going to be focusing on. It's just not going to be on videos on my channel. I'm just going to go out there and throw, have fun, play intuitively, and just try to get better at actually playing the game, because there's a lot more than just doing form. There's a lot of form trainers out there that don't actually play disc golf. They're just constantly doing form and learning form and teaching form and doing the whole thing. And I personally think that for myself, that's just not the world that I want to live in. So I'm going to stop agonizing over it. I spent too much time doing that and not having fun. I hope you understand. That's why this video is this long, and that's why it's in this format, because this is the one video where I basically go over it all, and I hope you like it. Please subscribe if you haven't already, as I do have more fun and interesting disc golf content on the way that hopefully will have nothing to do with form. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.